Hey, it's With Love, Danielle. We're here to talk about divine love, what I love you really means, and I love that you are here. My last episode, number 146, was 3 steps to finding closure. And we go deep into confusion, clarity, and doing the real let go. And I thought we'd just bring the vibe up to a little more positivity, although this may peel back some layers on all the times we've said, I love you, and we didn't really mean it. Even though we thought we did, even though we really, really wanted to. As promised, short, sweet, and deep, what I love you really means. Your very own heart is the healer. All right, let's talk about the heart of divine love. I've got a lot of quotes. We've got a lot of appearances of some of my favorite mystics coming in to this topic. So first up, we've got St. John of the Cross, who said, there is nothing better or more necessary than love. All right. Place both of your hands on your heart chakra and inhale deeply and fully. Now just breathe in 3 or 4 easy breaths. And now imagine that your heart is a lush forest. Old growth or tropical, it's up to you. It's your space. It's lush, it's vibrant, it's teeming with life. So there's a vast, clear blue sky above, and then the most solar, dynamic, brilliant sun shining down on every leaf and flower and square inch of soil in the beautiful forest of your heart. It's endless. The energy in your heart is ever generative. It's always creating life, restoring and rejuvenating. And everything that you bring into this vibrant space is blessed and healed by the luminous quality of the atmosphere. This lush space is endless. It goes on and on, vast, vibrant, healing. That's the energy of the heart space. That's the energy of our true nature, true nature. This is the energy of our divinity. Everything that we bring into the heart chakra, into the heart center, receives healing. So the heart chakra represents the portal to divine love. The heart is the doorway to divine love. The heart is the gateway to all healing and truth, capital truth. All is healed. I'm going to say this in so many different ways. All is healed by divine love. Divine love is the greatest transmutational force. It dissolves obstructions, it melts divisions, it turns illusions into the truth, it turns sorrow into resilience. Divine love is the substance of miracles. You know, 'twas blind and now I see. Amazing grace. So we'll come back later on to engaging your heart as a healing portal. But first, I want to talk about what divine love is and what it is not. So, divine love is a state of consciousness. I'm going to bring in some Ram Dass here, who said, love is the bridge, the transfer of energy between form and formless, between matter and spirit. Love holds the universe together. Okay, so this is key to know. Love is not an emotion. All right, love is not a sentiment. Emotion and sentiment arise from the unconscious, all of which is based in past memory. So that can be memories from this lifetime or from other lifetimes, all right? And those memories, those emotions, those feelings, they can run high, they can run low, they fluctuate. You know, the metaphor is like comets moving through the atmosphere. And it's that kind of emotionality that we work on cleansing and refining. So this is the light work of making the unconscious conscious, bringing everything to the heart to be lit up, accepted, transformed. We allow it to be what it is, and then change can happen with the flow of love. Divine love, repeating myself here, is a state of consciousness. Divine love is all-inclusive, it's all-encompassing, it's enveloping, it's embracing. Everything is in. All of your light, all of your darkness and everybody else's light and all of their darkness, all in, all of it. Nothing is banished. Nothing gets abandoned or condemned. Everything is welcomed in and held. And that is how the transmutation happens. Divine love turns everything back into divine love. So this is its refrain. I see all light and shadow in myself, and I include all aspects in my consciousness. And this is what has us go from being fragmented to becoming whole. We love all aspects of ourselves. The gnarly, the so-called needy, the so-called addictive parts of our personalities, and the beautiful and the deeply wise and our radiant truth, the truth of our nature. And we love that way with others. So, ditto with everybody else. Okay, divine love is everywhere. So let me bring in some Hafiz, one of the great mystical romantic poets, who said, even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. And look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky. Divine love is everywhere always. It's omnipresent. It's like the sun, continuously generating life force, constantly radiating light to absolutely everything in its realm. So the great sun would never discriminate against who or what does or doesn't get to bask in its light. It just shines, never withholding. Divine love never withholds love. It's always steady, all-inclusive. It's highly stable. Divine love leads to truth. All right, divine love leads to higher truth. So in the heart space, everything is seen. Everything is in, and therefore everything is seen in that light. No veils, all vastness. So then it's a given that divine love reveals the truth. It's revealing and it's welcoming. It sees it all and it loves what it sees. I touched into divine love when I met with the Dalai Lama. I met with him in my 30s. So a group of 6 of us traveled to Dharamsala in northern India to have a private meeting with His Holiness, which is like the opportunity of a lifetime. And after about an hour of talking about nonviolent leadership, and I had some questions about Gen X and the dynamics of compassion and war, then the meeting was over and we each filed out of his office chamber, and then he hugged us at the door. The Dalai Lama, by the way, gives bear hugs, and great hugs, best hug ever. I'm going to tell you why it was the best hug ever, but it's just this full-on warm embrace. And as I pulled out from his arms, he looked deeply into my eyes, into my soul. And, it brings me to tears just remembering this experience. And not only did I feel seen, not only did I feel completely seen, I felt that he loved all that he saw in me, all of me, just in one moment, deeply. And afterwards, the 6 of us, we went for fries and Coke, as one does in India, and in 6 different ways, we all said the same thing. What about that hug? I've never felt so seen and loved. We're all very deeply moved. The gaze of divine love lays it all bare and honors what's there. All right, I want to talk about saying, I love you. And here's a quote from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, who wrote The Little Prince. Now here is my secret. It is very simple. It is only with one's heart that one can see clearly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. So if we're made of divine love, then what does it mean to say, I love you? Because in the heart center, there's no singular separate I to do the loving. There's just endless love that holds us all together. And yet, here we are, spiritual beings in human bodies with personality structures that we carry in this lifetime. spiritual beings, human bodies, personality structures. So I think what we mean when we truly say, I love you to another is, I am love gazing upon you. Or we're saying, I see you and I have room for you in my heart. It's as if our heart chakra is like a searchlight on whatever is in our midst or our mind. Our love consciousness shines on others, seeing them in fullness, recognizing and embracing them. Love sees love everywhere it looks. Love sees love everywhere it looks. Divine love is fearless. So here's a quote from my guy, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. The more you are motivated by love, the more fearless and free your actions will be. And then also I want to give you something from A Course in Miracles that says, love's presence is your natural inheritance. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. Which is really why A Course in Miracles gets down to only love is real. Everything else is an illusion. So fearlessness is a key characteristic of divine love. It's fearlessness that allows us to be inclusive of all parts and all people. So when we're inclusive, we're generating love. Like, this is how Jesus Christ loved everyone, everywhere, no matter what. His love in action extended to the marginalized and the villainized, right? Inclusive, fearless, so he could be inclusive, and was just only generating love. So the courage of our hearts, and you know the French word for heart is cœur. It is a thing that lives within the heart. The courage of our hearts disregards popularity contests, doesn't care at all about political games. It sets all that aside to serve and protect all beings. The courageous heart extends compassion to everybody, to the cruelest amongst us. And it includes the meek. And, the courageous heart moves the disadvantaged people to the front of the line. And it doesn't do this to win divine favor, but the loving heart does this because we know that we're all connected, that we're all equal, that we're all here to heal. So then what's one of the biggest obstacles to love? Fear. And what melts the fear is leaning into the presence of divine love. And it means it's about loving all that can be loved right now. Reminds me of this beautiful quote from Proverbs chapter 31, verse 25. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. Divine love is fearless. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. Divine love is fearless. Divine love looks forward with profound trust. So if there's fear, there's less capacity to love. And of course, we're going to be in fear, and then we're going to be in love, and then we're going to be in fear, and then we're going to be in love. We're just expanding into more love all the time. So when fear presents itself, we can use gratitude, a love for what is. So gratitude is a love for what is, to bring us back to our heart center. So the moment, the person, our situation, or our inner experience doesn't get judged, it does not get condemned or, inappropriately condoned. It's met with love. We meet the moment, the person, our situation, our experience with love. And the fear then recedes. And sometimes the fear even transforms into courage, because everything is transformed when you bring it into your heart center. So how open-hearted can you be when you want to contract and lay judgment down? Can you keep your heart open? If we condemn someone else's behavior when we're triggered or we're hurt, then really we're just acting from our shadow self. It's just our own unconscious at play, The higher call, of course, is to keep love flowing. So I'm triggered, but I can still let love flow through me to you. I might be offended, and still I love. I feel wounded maybe by your words, and still I can send you love. I'm sending you love. I might be heartbroken, and still I love. And divine love is the ultimate inclusiveness. So if you're aware of our interconnectedness, aware of our oneness, then there is no separate you and me or us versus them. So that means that my light is your light, is our light. It also means that my shadow is also your shadow, which is our collective shadow. So we share the light and we share the darkness. All of our glory and our grime is overlapping. Consciousness, all forms of higher consciousness, is always inclusive. It invites in all experiences, all aspects of our psyche. And this is how we become whole. We include and we integrate all aspects of ourselves into where? Our heart-centered. Nothing gets shamed. Nothing gets left behind. So, the next conclusion is what we see playing out on a global scale or in our local personal relationships is a reflection of our inner landscape. Next conclusion, you know where I'm going with this. We heal ourselves. We heal the collective. As within, so without. Peace begins with each of us. And so many of us are wanting to be loved unconditionally while we're holding this big bag of conditions. And of course, that's going to create deep inner conflict. We receive what we give. If we are excessively boundaried, then we're going to swing back and forth from a this works for me or a this doesn't work for me kind of pendulum of judgment, really. Just back and forth with judgment. So the more restrictions and the more preferences we tout, the less love flows. And then we ourselves contract. We become like a parched desert. There's not much vibrancy or vitality or humor even in that place when we're overbounded. Love is what nourishes our growth and expansiveness. It's what quenches that parched desert. Love is our very life force. Okay, I'm going to bring in some Course in Miracles here and some Richard Rohr, who I adore. So A Course says, the self, capital self, that God created needs nothing. Capital self, your higher self, that God created needs nothing. It is forever complete, safe, loved, and loving. It seeks to share rather than to get, to extend rather than project. It has no needs, and it wants to join with others out of their mutual awareness of abundance. Oh, so beautiful. Mutual awareness of abundance. Okay, so this brings us to the truly selfless quality of divine love. So being aware of our oneness, the small ego self, the small self, folds into the light of our soul. And then love can really flow. So now I'm going to bring in some Richard Rohr. He is a beautiful Franciscan priest. He's a founder of the Center for Action and Contemplation based in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I love this guy. Here's what Richard says. When we are truly, quote, in love, we move out of our small, individual selves to unite with another, whether in companionship, simple friendship, marriage, or any other trustful relationship. Have you ever deliberately befriended a person standing alone at a party? Perhaps someone who was in no way attractive to you, or with whom you shared no common interests? That would be a small but real example of divine love flowing. Don't dismiss it as insignificant. That is how the flow starts, even if the encounter doesn't change anyone's life on the spot. To move beyond our small-minded uniformity, we have to extend ourselves outward, which our ego always finds to be a threat because it means giving up our separation, superiority, and control. So beautiful. So, reminder, divine love is the will to do good for all. It's the ultimate inclusiveness. When divine love is given, when it's directed with intention, divine love becomes divine light. Another way to say this is that the application of divine love is light. Even more simply put, love given is light. Divine power is a surrender to the will of creation to guide us for the good of all. Okay, so we've got divine love. It's the will to do good for all, divine light, giving that love. And then divine power is that love in action. Divine power is inclusiveness in action. And divine love is freedom. All right, so let's go back to the practicalities of your heart. We can visualize lifting our struggles and experiences directly into our heart. Maybe you see your heart center as a vibrant forest or as the solar system itself. Maybe you see it as a glowing portal of light pink and shimmering gold and ribbons of pearlescent white. Bring it all into the heart with your energy. Using your energetic focus, you bring it all into your heart. See it. Feel it. Maybe you want to use your hands to symbolically scoop everything into your heart center. And then you hold it there to be honored and healed. Gentle, gentle, gently. Your sense of woundedness, bring it into your heart. Your criticism about your woundedness, your past, the perceived neediness, all of your self-judgment, all of your judgments, your resistance to forgive, any neuroses, physical inflammation, bring it in. Fear of poverty, fear of the future, any fear, bring it into your heart center. Bring in that one argument that you keep looping on. Bring in the judgment that you have because you keep looping on that one argument. Bring in the anxiety, soft. Your astuteness, bring that in. Your talents and gifts, your cravings. Bring into your heart centered your unbounded generosity. You'll find more of it there. Your limitless, sacred voice. Your ever-flowing kindness. Bring in every single question into your heart center. Can you bring in the ones who hurt you? And the ones who are doing life in a way that you judge as damaging? Can you bring into your heart center the competition and the dictators? Give them room for their pain, for their divinity to unfurl. Can you exhale forgiveness on all of it? This is how we know our divine power. We engage our hearts. I think this is true non-dualism. All of it is in the banal and the beautiful, the easy to love and the inconceivable. And we do it with the softest touch, like breathing, like life holds us with steadfast inspiration and respiration. Divine love is this primal and this transcendent. Divine love, absolute inclusiveness, is the flowing substance of all joy and the medicine for all sorrow. It's the revelation and the refuge. It's why we exist and how we make life come to life. Divine love is the truth of who we are. May divine love animate us in every way. May we walk by its light and magnify it everywhere we are. Divine love. So who do you want to go home or call up or Zoom right now and tell them that you really, really love them? Or maybe you just look in the mirror. As always, I'm so glad you're here. I will be back sooner than later next Wednesday with love, Danielle. Thank you so much for listening, for feeling, for spreading the word. With love.